Hello Year 5 and welcome to your maths lesson for today. Today we're going to revise place value and we're going to work with numbers up to 10,000. You will need paper, it can be squared or lined, a pencil, you might want to use a ruler if you have one handy. You can draw freehand if you are if you can draw straight lines, and then your very active maths brain. You will do lots of calculations and thinking today. If you haven't got any of these, please pause the video and get what you need. To warm up our brains this morning, we're going to do these three calculations. The first one is a subtraction. You might want to use column method. Number 2, write these numbers in order from smallest to largest, so rearrange them. And for number 3, you have to answer these mentally, which means use your known facts of your times tables to work them out. Pause the video and show me all your working on your piece of paper. You will upload this to J2 Launch later today. Let's continue. When we are in the classroom, we use our Dean's cubes to help us with our calculation. So 1 cube is worth 1. And if we have 10 of those together, they form a rod that are equal to 10. 10 times 1 is 10. If we have 10 of those, we put them all together, we get the flat board that is 10 times 10 equals 100. So 100 little squares put together. And if we have 10 of those 100 squares, we end up with 1,000. Now today you will use some of these in the work we're going to do online, as well as the work that you're going to do on J2 Launch. Pause the video and have a think. What number is represented by these cubes and columns and little cubes and the flat board? Count very carefully. Quite right. In the first column of the thousands, we have 3,000, 2 hundreds, 3 tens or 30, and we have 5 ones. And if we put all of those together, we have a number of 3,235. Now your turn. Can you say that number out loud? Well done. Our little turtle here has been playing around with some counters, and this is another way we can represent our number. Do you agree with him? He says, this number is 134. Have a think. Is he correct? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him? Pause the video and have a quick look. Well done to those who said you don't agree with him, because when we look at our columns, the first one we have is thousands. So there is no way we can have 134. There are 3 hundreds equaling 300. There are 4 counters in the tens column, which equals 40. And there are 0 ones. Now, where do you think he made a mistake? Can you explain to him how to get the correct number? Have a go. I can hear lots of you saying that his number is 10 times smaller. He did not include the 0 because there are no ones. He did not calculate the 0 into his number. So if you have the number 1,340, well done. Another way of representing a whole number is to use a part-whole diagram. Now, at this point in time, we don't know what the big number should be in this box over here, or the circle over here. But let's add them together. We've got 3,902. And if we add these together, we have 3,902. Can you spot which place value grid is missing? Yes, of course, there are no tens. So what would happen to this number if I add 80 to this number? First of all, I have to put it in a circle. If I add 80, how will my number change? You can shout out. Excellent. It will turn to 3,982. 2. Now my number is split up into ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. Let's practice what we've learned so far. On your piece of paper, if you can write down the letter A, B, and C and match it with the correct value. The values underneath are obviously not the correct one for the picture you have to match. Pause the video and count very carefully. Let's see how you've done. Here are the answers. Well done. Thumbs up if you had them all correct. If you had one wrong, can you see your mistake? Let's continue. Now, this is your turn for activity 2. After I've explained to you, you're going to pause the video and on your sheet, you're going to show me 3 different ways how you can break up the number 8,045. Remember, you can use any of these. If you can think of another way to split it up, please do that. Pause the video now, and this is an activity that you will submit a bit later. Let's move on. The next activity for you is to work out what the answers for these diagrams might be. Now count very carefully that you do not make a mistake. On your sheet, write down activity 3. You can again write picture A, B, and C. Sorry, I forgot to put the numbers in or the letters in, A, B, or C. And write the correct value underneath. I will help you with this one. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thousands. Then I'm going to go to my hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundreds. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens. What does 7 tens equal? Well done, 70. And then one tiny little cube here that equals 1. Now add them all together and write the answer underneath. Fantastic, 5,671. Now pause the video and work out the other 2. Well done. Let's have a look. 5,167. Let's check if we are correct. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thousands. How many hundreds can we see? Fantastic. Only 100. 100. Tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my 6 is correct. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ones. Fantastic. This one's a little bit more tricky. I wonder who got this one correct. 5,670. Well done if you did that all correct. For activity 4, once again, on your sheet, you can write down A, B, or C and match them with the correct answers. Pause the video now and write them down. Let's see how well you have done. For the first one, let's have a look. There's 1, 2, 3 thousand and only 3 ones. So 3,003. That is my correct answer there. For B, 1, 2, 3,000. But this time we have tens. 10, 20, 30. So 3,030. Fantastic. And then the last one is 3,303. Now you've noticed here it's not in the correct order, but on these diagrams sometimes they mix the order up, so we have to count very carefully. Well done. Now this is one that I'm going to ask you to decide which diagram is the odd one out, and then explain why you say that. I'm not going to give you the answer. This is one of your answers you'll have to submit onto J2 Launch. Pause the video and count very carefully and think very carefully. What does each number represent? Which one is the odd one out? Well done. I'm really looking forward to see who gave me a fantastic explanation. Activity 6, we're going to draw the table and complete. I'm going to help you with the first one that you can see the way you should be thinking. We start off with the number 4,579. We have to add 10 to the number. How did I do that? I looked at my tens unit, tens value here, and I just added 10 on. I don't have to carry over. It's just a straightforward swap. Now, I'm going to go back to my original number and I'm going to add 100 to it. Can you shout out what you think the answer would be? Fantastic. My hundreds column is going to change from 500 to 600 because I'm adding 100. So from 500 to 600. I think the next one will be much easier for you because we're adding 1,000. Which digits will change? Which ones will stay the same? You can shout out. Fantastic. My thousands column will change, my 5,000, because I'm adding on just 1,000. Can you spot the mistake? Fantastic. This number is not correct. That should be a 4. So do not make that mistake. Let me just write that one down. Oops. Let me get that automatic. It does not want to change, but that should be a 5. 5589. I did that to show you that you are not using the previous number. You always have to start with your original number. Now, pause the video and do the next 3 numbers on your own. This activity you will have to submit at the end of the day. Careful counting when you get to this one here. You'll have to add on, but what am I going to do here to get these 2 numbers? That's right, I have to subtract. Let's see if you can get that done. Let's continue with activity number 7. It's very similar, but you're going to notice there's a little bit of a difference in the actual table that we have to draw. I'm not going to start with my number in the first column. I'm starting with my number in the last column. Now, I'll have to work slightly differently. Instead of adding on, I will have to do the inverse and subtract because this is my final answer. But how did I get to that answer? I have to now subtract 1,000. If I subtract 1,000, my answer will be 8,492. The only number that's changing is my red number in the thousands column. Well done. Now we have to take away 100. So my thousands column stays the same, but my hundreds column is changing from 400 to 300. Instead of adding 10, I need to take 10 away to get to my original number. And the only column that's going to change is my tens column. My 8, the 3 and the 2 stays the same. And that is my answer. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and have a go at these next 2 numbers. Remember, you have to do addition and subtraction because we do not start in the first column. Activity number 8. Again, draw the table and complete. I'm going to let you do this one completely on your own. Pause the video now and do your working out. Well done. Remember to post your answers for the warm-up and the activities number 2, 3, 5, 6 and 7 and 8 onto J2 Launch to show you how far you have done. There will be work for you on J2 Launch. There will be questions like the ones we've done before. Most of them are matching. And then there's a couple of problem-solving questions for you. Please go to J2 Launch now and complete your maths works. Goodbye, Year 5.